or
Hmm.
any one of my jobs, right? While also trying to do this. And I figured it out. I'm not going to be able to do that. This is either going to get all of my attention or none of my attention at all.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, I keep looking up and being aghast at what I'm watching and asking questions that are fundamental, like, where are you taking me? And then I am thrown off of whatever it is I'm working on. So, like, I wrote the tweet week after the fact, because that's me, about, hey, I'm going to write this book about the Tulsa Race Massacre. And I'm doing work on that. And I'm reading about stuff that actually happened and stitching together how things actually happen. And then I'm watching this show, and this show is kind of muddling it. Not really having fun with that.
Well, that's the thing that we've discussed at length, that this show might not be pretty good, but like, while it's also not very good from our perspective, it's also not made for us,
Mm.
right? It's not made for our viewing. But let's say that the show was made for us, and let's just say that we did think that it was good. What do you think the feeling that you're supposed to get out of it is? Like, is it is this supposed to be some sort of bit of cinema that's like Schindler's List? You're not supposed to be partying about it. It's supposed to be a very important, engaging piece of work. Or is it kind of like Tales from the Crypt, where it's like, ah, yes, this is thrilling. I love it. This is cathartic for me. Like, what are you supposed to get out of it?
I don't know what you're supposed to get out of it. I think that's a question for showrunners. I just know that I am so much smarter than this TV show, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to look at all the books on my shelves and go, "Did you guys read any of these? Any of these? No, none. Okay." Because like if we're talking about just what something's supposed to be, like Tales from the Crypt or Schindler's List, I think I got college football for that. Like LSU is just gonna drop the gate. Like I've seen two ways of thinking about this. Like one is just giving up, and the other is, well, now Death Valley has a different kind of connotation, and yet it's still Tiger Stadium because there's only Death Valley. There's only one Death Valley. Did I ever tell you the story? Because I feel like I made this
Yeah,
upload.
you did, but tell it to me again.
Okay.
Tell it to me again, Papa RJ.
So Death Valley is in Clemson, and that's not in dispute. Even LSU SIDs have said, no, Death Valley's in Clemson. We insist on continuing to use the nickname, but there is historical evidence and accounts of a Clemson man who went to Death Valley in California, came back with a rock, and that became Howard's Rock. And they put it in what they call Death Valley because in the September, it would still be like 104 and humid. And people were having a really
Gross.
difficult... Yes, exactly. So you can see how LSU would be like, it sounds like you're describing us. And no, except you guys actually took it from them, and you have admitted to taking it from them because you thought it was cool. And that way, it's not unlike University of Tulsa and Golden Hurricane. You know this story.
I should know. Like, I've went it to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those stories that I feel like that's probably passed my desk a couple of times, but I do not remember it at all.
So I know this stuff because it's just how my brain goes. But there's lots of people that go to TU don't know why it's the Golden Hurricane. Singular, not plural. So the 30s, they went through a number of phases in which they wanted to be named the Yellow Jackets or the Tigers, and settled on the Golden Tornadoes, which is badass and should have stuck. But head coach finds out that Georgia Tech was the Golden Tornadoes. And what's like a tornado? A hurricane. Yo, man, you're in Tulsa. You're in a landlocked state. Ain't no hurricanes making it to Tulsa. Tornadoes, though, 100%. I mean, you got the Clinton Red tornadoes over there, too. Like, it just fits. But no, he backed up off of that and went to Hurricanes because Georgia Tech had it first, and then Georgia Tech changed its name to Yellow Jackets. And what does Tulsa do? It does not change its name back to Tornadoes. We stuck with Hurricanes at the University of Tulsa because one dude just decided to do the opposite of what literally every other college football program goes. No, it's mine. Like, we claimed that national championship. It's ours. Like, we've said it's ours, so that makes it ours. He couldn't just do that. No, we got to be stuck with Hurricanes because it's like, no, we want to be different. Well, I mean, I don't know what's more different than that. It's like the San Diego Banana Slugs or something. That's another one.
Yeah, man, this is part of the American experience where you become a sports fan before you learn anything else. So I'm the type of dude that grew up really liking John Stockton and Karl Malone. So like the Utah Jazz, what's that have to do with anything? And it wasn't until, I don't know, 15 years later that I realized that, because it wasn't always in Utah, right? So
also, I would really love to see the Jazz Club in Salt Lake City. I'm
sure it's just great. Sure, it's as good as anyone that you can find in New Orleans from 1920 to now.
No. Just a jazz club. Any jazz club. Any jazz club. I don't need it to be good. Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to walk into a jazz club in Salt Lake City and be like, "What? This is big band. This ain't jazz."
If that's your only gripe, that'd be awesome.
Out here doing swing. It's not jazz.
Let me mess around and see. Let me mess around and see a white lady on stage doing Josephine Baker songs. In French dress of the time.
Okay, you sold me back again. Like I was off, but now I'm right back on.
Yeah. And then it'd be just, all right, here for this. So Ron, you can see my hoodie. I don't feel good about this week. I don't feel good about this week for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is OU's got a Derek Stingley Jr. problem right now. Okay? Derek Stingley Jr. is the best cornerback in the country, and he missed the Mississippi State game, for which LSU says if we had Derek Stingley Jr., we would have won that game. It's not true. OU fans are under the impression that if they get Ronnie Perkins back this week, has been widely reported, that something magical happens to this defense. They're trying to treat Ronnie Perkins like a panacea, and panaceas don't exist. Okay? Contrary to popular academic journals, Tylenol is not going to make you just automatically come out of your depression. Just not going to do it. Ronnie Perkins plays this weekend. It'd be cool for Ronnie Perkins. But here's my thing. I watched the Lakers and the Heat, and I've seen what it means to have rim protectors and trees. Texas goes 6'6" in Malcolm Epps if they want to, 6'7" in Andrew Wiley if they want to, 6'3" in Joshua Moore, whose mama came on Twitter to say, I feel like I need to tell y'all my son's name is not Josh. It is Joshua. You don't shorten the book of the Bible to the book of Josh. She wrote that down. It is the book of Joshua. His name is Joshua Moore, and he's their best wide receiver. Here for that, right? Here for that. And then you can go Tariq Black at 6'3", 217 pounds. Oklahoma has two problems. They're short and they're not physical. Like, defense is built to be slender and fast. And when you're short and getting bullied, you play like you did against Iowa State, right? Who also just went big.
I was going to say that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong with being slender and fast if it works.
Ew, man.
I put it to you that it's not working.
You know what beats slender and fast? Big and methodical. Like, honestly, Matt Campbell, John Haycock said, Oklahoma's the fastest defense we're going to see all year. And I said, oh, no. Like, as soon as they pinpointed that, said, oh, cool. Y'all think just because y'all fast that y'all can win this physical football game called football? I don't think so. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run 6'4" and 6'6" right at your 6-foot safety. Right at your 5'9" safety. And one of the reasons I love Buki, right? Because Buki was getting trashed. Is not because Buki is short, although that's got a lot to do with it. It's because Buki is like me. I will pick up a personal foul before you punk me. You're just not going to punk me. You will get hit in the mouth before you punk me. I can't say that for anybody else on that secondary right now, man. Like, Pat Fields came out, poor Pat Fields, free safety, saying, yo, look, we just don't have an answer for how big they are. And I said, oh, man, you do have an answer. But the answer is heart. Like,
grit, grind, hustle, right? You gotta really sacrifice the body on this one.
Just pride. Like, you know how. No, look, why are you passing out? Why are you passing out? Why are you passing out?
Because the math is in. We already solved this. We know that they're athletic. We already know that they're fast. The problem is that they're small and they lag them behind. If the thing that you got to do to beat them is be heavy, methodical, congratulations. If you are already heavy,
I'm smaller. All right. But as I said, you will not leave here with knees or kidneys. I will get my pound of flesh out of you, okay? That's how it's going to go. I'm going to make it so hard for you to walk the next day that you're going to really thinking about, do you really want to catch this football? Because if you use your hands to catch this football, your chest is wide open. And I know where your sternum is.
All right, so the solution is to be dirty, right? To be clear, I don't have a problem with being dirty.
Do you know how I used to block?
That's what you're saying, right? Lead with the elbow, right?
No.
Try to get as many targeting calls as you can. Maybe slip in a collar, horse collar or two.
Here right? I am talking to a defensive lineman about how to play offense. Look, I understand that you believe there's holding on every play because there is, but how do you think I was able to block? I cheated. I took my hands and I wrapped them around your chest plate. And I move you from one place to another, or at the very least, I make it hard for you to get away from me. Meanwhile, I got short dudes that are rolling into offensive dudes. Like, they're literally just rolling into their shins. Like, nah, man. It's not even sacrifice the body. It's like, I thought you got into this to hit people. Like, that's why I got into football. I like football because I got to hit people. And I wasn't going to go to jail. You know? Like, you might pick up a personal foul. You might. Don't lead with the head. Don't hit the head or neck area, because then you won't be able to inflict pain on kidneys and stomachs and chest later on in the game. I want to get as many licks as I possibly can. And yet, that hasn't come through for Oklahoma. And now we got folks that are literally asking questions like, who's the next defensive coordinator we could get? You can't get anybody better than Grinch. That's the sad thing. Like, you can't. Now you get Mike Yurcich, who I think is going to be able to outcoach Grinch, and you get Chris Ash. Now, I gotta ask this. Do you think Sam Ellinger gets drafted next year?
Yes, absolutely. What round? I don't know.
If he gets drafted for the 5th round, I flip a table.
I haven't spent a lot of time watching a lot of Sunday football. I do know that we are I think we are at a pretty good position quarterback wise for a lot of NFL teams. And I think that there's a lot of quarterbacks floating on rosters that are probably going to be dealt from side to side. I don't know. I don't know where somebody thinks, man, I really need me a Sam Ellinger.
I mean, it's a good.
Then again, there's tons of quarterbacks that hold clipboards for a dozen years who I don't think were very good in college. So
was Chase Daniel very good in college?
Yes, Chase Daniel was very good in college.
There you go. Is Sam Ellinger a better quarterback than Chase Daniel? Tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
I don't have the fond memories of Sam Ellinger than I do of Chase Daniel. I'll say that.
Look, man. I believe that Sam Ellinger is a good leader. But I need good leaders to be city councilors. I need good leaders to be aldermen. I need good leaders to be the head of unions. I don't need a good leader to be a quarterback. Not like this, man. Like, if your best quality is your leadership as a quarterback, we got a problem. We got a problem. Because as it stands right now, Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Sam Ellinger by far, and that's not the compliment that you think it is. It's just not. Okay? Because I'm watching Sam Ellinger the last 2 weeks, and I've said, yo, man, this dude looks bad. He doesn't trust what he sees. He's double clutching. He isn't accurate. And the only plays that he's actually making are home runs. Like, at one point, that man was 5 of 16 with 4 touchdown passes. No.
Sounds like a good day for me.
No,
I'll take it.
No.
Like, I mean, personally, I'll take it. I understand if you are a stats freak, but I'll take it.
Yo, man, you go 16 to 34 for 236, we got a problem. They'd be like, yeah, but 4 TDs. But 4 TDs. This is not DraftKings. This is football. Okay? We're not only looking for touchdowns. That said, they had a touchdown. They had it there. They could have won that game. Keontae Ingram decided, like, he wanted, like, we had Trevor Maddich and Brad Edwards on the ESPN show on Saturday, right? And Trevor Maddich took it upon himself to just tell you how badly Texas cocked this up. Like, he said, Keontae Ingram made the big play to put them on the goal line. But Keontae Ingram, who was all of 6 feet tall, thought he could stretch his arm 6 feet out to get it across the goal line. And everybody's shocked that Garrett Waller knocked that ball out. No. You hold the ball close to your chest with 2 hands, and you live to fight another day. Because they're down 4. We understand. You need 6. You can't get 3. But you on the goal line. And then I'm just cackling because Garrett Waller is also the dude that got cooked by Keontae Ingram to put them in that bad position. Meanwhile, Gary Patterson did not coach a good football game. All while Gary Patterson got on the teleconference today and said, I hate that our league is judged by how good Oklahoma or Texas is because we have good teams in this league. And I'm going, you went 5-7 last year. You damn near threw away a game that you had won against Texas on the road. And you're complaining that people are comparing the Big 12 to the 2 teams that play the best in it historically? I don't understand. Like, the only team that was better historically than Oklahoma or Texas, and I guess Texas more than Oklahoma, is Nebraska. Like, in the Big 12. That's how bad this has been. And yet, this game, OU Texas, has come to encompass what people believe are the 2 best teams, even though Texas hadn't been to the conference championship but once since they went to this format. Hasn't won one since they went to this format. And Texas Christian has been decent. Baylor's been good. That's about it, right? Like, now I'm looking at the standings, and you see Oklahoma is up there. Kansas State is up there. And I forget the 3rd team. Because I feel like somebody else is 2-0 in conference play. It ain't Tech. It ain't West Virginia. It ain't Kansas. It ain't Baylor. Yeah, somebody will tell me in the chat. Anyway,
I'll throw it into the Google machine.
Somebody will tell me. I do know this. I didn't expect to look at the Big 12 standings and see Oklahoma at the bottom 0-2. Because I can't remember the last time that I saw 2 losses in Big 12 play. It's 6 years ago. You know, and I've been corrected that Oklahoma was unranked in 2016.
I'm just gonna throw this out there because as I'm looking at it, it feels bad. So the 2-0 teams that are 2-0 conference play: Wildcats, Cyclones, Cowboys.
Cyclones, that's right. Cyclones. They're 2-0. I keep forgetting that they actually did beat Texas Christian, even though they lost to Louisiana Lafayette, who is ranked, by the way. ULL is ranked. Oklahoma is not. What is this? Do you realize that it's entirely in play that Oklahoma State and Tulsa could be ranked and Oklahoma could not be ranked by mid-October? Because Tulsa pulls off an outstanding upset of Central Florida on the road. And then shout out to sports director KJRH, texting with him. He's like, hey, RJ, do you think if Oklahoma had Tulsa secondary that they'd be 3-0? I said, without question. And that's an outstanding observation. Because Fletcher's kids, Aaron Fletcher, secondary coach at TU, are playing lights out and have been playing lights out for like 2 years. Like, they are enormous. They go 6'3" at both cornerback positions. Their shortest safety is like 6'1". They hit hard. They play man. Like, it's really fun to watch that secondary play. And it's gnawed at me since Cade put that in my head that, like, wait a second. In what galaxy is the University of Tulsa football team supposed to have a better secondary than Oklahoma? And then I have to remember that it's this one. It's this one.
It's this one. Yep. I think this is oh wow. I think this is the year where Oklahoma is paying back all of the Sooner Magic debt they used up the last 4 years.
I hate that term. Like, I'm so glad you used it.
They got to refill the tank because they have been a cardiac inducing team for 4 straight years. So, hey, this is the one. Everybody, pitch in, wave hands, put your hands in the air like you're doing a spirit bomb. Hopefully they get enough for next week, but you're definitely trying to save up for next year.
No, I mean, like, 8-5's not on the table. You're only playing 10 games. You only get 10 regular season games. So 5-5 is not going to be a great look. Like, that's Schnellenberger numbers. That's what that is. That's how Lincoln Riley ends up in the same sentence as Howard Schnellenberger. Because you still got this Texas game. You still got Oklahoma State, right? You got a Tech team that can at least put up points. West Virginia is finding its way. And who the hell knows what Baylor's going to be? Did not expect to be here. And now I have reached a point in my journey where there are so many people that look forward to watching me come unglued when Oklahoma loses. And usually that's like twice a year, right? Once during the regular season, once in the college football playoff. That's just been what it is, right? Cool. It's not the kind of thing you see regularly. Twice in 2 weeks? Hey, man. Like, I had my co-host on National Sports Talk Radio, Jeff Dickerson, say to me on air, RJ, so I'm mad that you got to be here with me. I said, I'm not mad I got to be here with you. No. Let me finish. I'm mad that you got to be here with me because I would very much like to see how you take this loss to Iowa State on video. Because it was an ongoing talking point because the game is ongoing as we're on the show, right? And that's part of the conceit of the show is we're talking about the games as they're happening. And it's a top 25 team against an unranked team on the road that they had not lost to in 60 years. And I kid you not, Dickerson says, I'm going to set my watch for 1:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, in which case I will check to see if you have made a video about this loss to Iowa State. That is where I'm at now. Is we got people that are looking forward to my tears, to my misery.
Well, I'm over here. I called Iowa State beating OU this year. I said if they were going to beat anybody, it was just going to be them. Still looks like I might hold out on that, but I didn't expect to see OU lose this week and last week the way that they did. And I'd say going forward, if the way that you predict the season, you say, this is a win by this score. What happens if you take 7 off of OU and give 7 to the others? And how does that still play out? How you feel about that? Because that's how what I think the predictions need to be. Make your score, make a 14-point split.
That is so on the nose, though. That's on the nose. So, like, Oklahoma's averaging 37 a game through 3 games. They averaged 42 a game 42-44 last year, and then 48 the year before that. It's literally like a touchdown. You're giving back a touchdown. In a league where you have set the standard for scoring 45 a game, in which case everybody else is trying to score 45 a game now. Particularly on Oklahoma because they know that they can do it on your defense. Like, Oklahoma's got 2 takeaways in 3 games, and Alex Grint's out here talking about, I want 26 in 10 games. 26 what? 26 mixed tackles? Because that was the second half of Iowa State. Might be the first half of Texas. Like,
I give up 26 touchdowns.
Man. Come on. Oklahoma's given up 37, 38, and 63 to the last 3 FBS teams it faced. And we got Grinch and Riley talking about, nah, everything we're doing is fixable. Then fix it. You know, like, that's the thing about college football that really just gets to me. You only have this many games, right? It ain't the NBA where I could talk about it literally every day. I mean, I do talk about college football every day, but it would be so much easier to talk about games that are happening, right? I spend 8 months of my life each year talking about stuff that could happen, stuff that did happen, and not that stuff is happening right now. In that way, sometimes I look at this channel and be like, yo, man, I should just be talking about the NBA. Because if Oklahoma's going to go 0-2, what do y'all need me to tell you about that for? You know, meanwhile, Texas tried to give me some joy. I had fun. Because the only thing I like as much as an Oklahoma win is a Texas loss. And then a loss at home. And then I remembered Oklahoma lost at home to Kansas State. You know who got a raise this week? You know I got a contract extension and a raise this week? Chris Kleiman. Chris Kleiman gets off to 2-0 against OU at Texas Tech, and they give him a extension for 6 years, raises, paid to $4 million annual. Means they're going to lose Texas Christian because I can't really think of a time when you announce a coach got a contract extension mid-season and they didn't just kind of say, okay, cool, we're done this year.
Oh no, that's the during the timeout before a field goal was like, man, look at these stats. Let me tell you, he has never missed a kick. I don't expect him up. There he goes.
Gabe Burkich.
Wide.
On Saturday.
Doggone.
Gabe Burkich. He was perfect for his career. He was preseason All-American. Matter of fact, there were 3 preseason All-Americans playing in that game on Saturday. One of them was Charlie Kolar, and he's the only dude that played like it. Meanwhile, I got Georgia fans. I got Tennessee fans. I certainly got Alabama fans and LSU fans all in my ears. You know, like I got this love-hate relationship going on with LSU fans who just show up to tell me how much I suck, and I'm like, but you're here. But you're here. Alabama fans just feel bad. Cause like I did want to trot this out to you, and I think I've trotted it out to you when we hadn't been talking in front of people. But what Nick Saban has managed to do at Alabama this year is jaw-dropping to me. Because quite literally everybody else has had either run-ins with COVID or run-ins with social justice issues, RE Black Lives Matter. Nick Saban's been like, nah, this is Alabama. And you had, I think, yeah, we did talk about this because you were like, yo, man, the culture's so dense at Tuscaloosa. And I've been thinking about that. How do you think you make a culture that dense? So that quite literally none of the stuff that's going on outside, pandemic, social issues, gets inside. Like, that's impossible to do, and yet they're doing it.
No, you had to make your narrative bulletproof, which is the thing that I think that Alabama has done. Every kid that's playing for Alabama right now has not in their near adult, late adolescent lives understood Alabama to be anything less than great. So you know that you're going to go play for Alabama. You're going to go play for Nick Saban. And you like, I could never play for Nick Saban. Like my feelings are just too soft. Like, I'm sorry. He yells at me, I'm gone. But if you go there knowing that that's how he's going to be, and you know he's like that with other people, he was like that with people that were before you and people after you. So you come to expect that as like part of the culture. Nick Saban is pretty transparent in how he treats his ball players. So I don't think that there was ever going to be a chance that unless some secret text messages from a Slack or a WhatsApp got out there, he was never going to lose any players because they know exactly who he is. And you come there to get paid. This is just a long-term professional development. Where else you gonna go? Like we said this even before the times of COVID, that why would you go languish on the bench at Alabama when you could be a starting running back at Marshall, at TCU, at Nevada? You could go, matter of fact, you probably go to UCLA and get yourself a starting position. Why would you waste your time on Alabama? It's like, well, this is just long-term. This is a long-term investment. This is all professional development. Also, you might walk out of there with a couple rings.
And he gets to say that about assistant coaches too, which is just wild because anytime you have a revolving door at your assistant coaching position, people are like, yeah, I don't know about that. He's managed to make that work. Like, dudes walk in there as winless head coaches or 2-4 head coaches, go into the rehabilitation clinic, come out Lane Kiffin. You know, or Kirby Smart, you just stay there until your dream job actually comes open, and then you go to Georgia, right? Or Jeremy Pruitt, who can do stints at Florida State, Georgia, and Alabama, still end up at Tennessee. You know, like the only dude I think in the SEC right now who has not worked for Nick Saban in some capacity or is not like a 2-degree separation might be Ed Orgeron and Mike Leach. That's about it. Everybody else is right in there. I guess Malzahn. Malzahn hadn't actually worked for Nick Saban. But like, good God, man. Like, I just think about all the dudes that come through there. Like, if you're Charles Kelly or you're Pete Golding, what are you actually waiting on? Like, what jobs are you waiting to come in? I don't know. Maybe. Ooh. All right, let me walk this out. There is a small group of people that believe Rattler was the problem against Iowa State, though he was 25-36 for 300 with 2 tutties and a pick. And then there are people who are going, I don't know if Lincoln Riley's the guy. Who's better than Lincoln Riley? I would give you Ryan Day at Ohio State just as a toss-up, right? Even though he's only been to the playoff once as a head coach, and he got beat. So they're kind of basically on the same footing there. You can argue with me about draft picks and yada, yada, yada. Clemson, we know is ahead with Dabo Swinney. Alabama, we just spoke about. Who else? Do you really think Jimbo Fisher's that much better than Lincoln Riley?
Here's what I'll do. You staple Lincoln Riley into the numbers 4 spot, just like he's there.
Okay.
1 and 2 are Saban and Dabo. Number 3 is always open, and number 5 is always open. That's where Lincoln Riley is.
Because like Kirby Smart 5 in there.
Could be.
Okay. Because like that's the other thing because you can argue that Kirby Smart's ahead because he actually made the national championship game. You can make that argument. So you could put him in the 3 spot. You can't. I mean, Ryan Day's got to win a playoff game, which is also, since people are really coming after me for these headlines, the Big Ten is going to court chaos. Chaos will reign once the Big Ten decides it's going to play football. Like, all the Big Ten folks are getting their giggles in, right? Talking about, see, told y'all Oklahoma wasn't no good. Told y'all LSU wasn't no good. Ohio State's just here laying in wait. Wisconsin going to be right there at the end. Yeah, I hate. It came to get every last one of us, but it's not coming to get you. Okay. I'll be here for it.
I was about to say, I hope you were polishing your actually parody is a sign of strength take right now. Like, it's about to be real shining.
Man, blood just going down the stairs. Okay? Because, like, the other problem that they have has absolutely nothing to do with football played on the field. You're going to try to run 8 games in 8 weeks, knowing damn well everybody else not named Alabama has had a run-in with the COVID. The Rona has ruined so many games. University of Houston had to postpone 3 times. And yet, a state like Ohio, which is basically on the same track as a state like Louisiana, is going to be like, nah, we're going to be good. Yeah, okay. That's why Cincy was just scrambling to get Army on the schedule. I want to see it. And what's that Monique meme? Yeah. I would like to see it.
I would like to see it.
So I'm here for it. Like, what happens if Nebraska shows up at Ohio State and hands them their head? What will the meltdown be like in Columbus?
It's going to be real tough. The offseason was real hectic. There was, we just didn't really have our best foot in front of us or behind us. And
how many people are trotting out
we'll do better next week.
We didn't get enough practices in for preseason, knowing that the damn Big Ten has basically been in preseason camp since July.
No, we talking about practice.
Like, seriously, y'all basically had 3 months of preseason camp. can't wait to see who tries to trot that one out, right? Because that's going around. That one's going around. It's like, we just got out here and started playing. We didn't actually, get time to do this. Like hell. Like, even when they canceled the games, you still get 12 hours a week to do stuff. If you hadn't canceled games, you get 20 hours a week to do stuff. Once you say you're playing football again, you get 20 hours a week to do stuff. You have quite literally a 6-week run-up. You good. You fine. But somebody's going to come out there and catch an L that they shouldn't catch, and they're going to trot it out. Yo, we're not even at full strength. It's weird being in the stadium with nobody there. And, some of our guys are already just kind of checked out. You mean the guys that said that they want to play football? You mean the guys that were campaigning to play football? Like, you're Ohio State in this way. You pushed so hard to play football, and you got everybody back to play football. You can't afford a loss. Like, you can't even afford to lose a game because you wanted it this bad, and you're quite literally, on paper, better than everybody else you're going to face. The only teams left to give Ohio State any sort of run are in the playoff. And that's just Alabama and Clemson as I see it right now, right? I think they could beat Georgia by a touchdown. I think that because who is Stetson Bennett? Somebody got real pissy at me when I said Stetson Bennett and Mac Jones are interchangeable. Like if you traded teams, nothing changes. See? All right, in that way. Mac Jones also has the highest passer rating in the country at like 227, 222, which means that everybody's catching everything he throws. I submit to you, put me at quarterback with that offensive line, with Najee Harris behind me, with Jalen Waddle out there on the wing, with Devontae Smith out there on the wing, and see what I do. I'll bet you I'll be pretty good. You know why I know I'll be pretty good? Because Mac Jones is quarterback. Okay? That's why I'm going to be pretty good. But you're making a face. Why are you making a face?
No, not making a face. It's nice to be back there when you don't have to make no magic.
Nick Saban said, hey, Mac just got to stay within himself, which is code for just run the offense. Like, I've never seen Nick Saban lose his mind quite like I see him lose his mind when quarterbacks throw interceptions. And, like, he's yelling at the offensive coordinator, like, I told you to run the damn ball. It's like, Nick, we can't run the damn ball every play. Yes, we can! What do you mean you want to put the ball in the air?
I was about to say, I don't talk to the players that I talk to. I ain't made the phone calls that I've been making. I didn't put you in the position that you have for you to tell me we can't run the damn ball every time.
Nick, it's 3rd and 11. Yeah, because your offensive line keeps false starting, coach them up. Yeah, but we gotta throw the ball. No! We gotta get the offensive line to get off the ball on the snap. Nick, I don't really think we want to run God's play on 3rd and 19. It's God's play. Why wouldn't we want to run power? It's like, I feel like those are the arguments. Matter of fact, my favorite Nick Saban soundbite is him just kind of giving his equipment manager the business, just out there on the field. Like, can I get some new shoes? I asked for some new shoes. I asked for new shoes because these shoes that are new hurt my feet. Can I get some newer shoes so that the new shoes don't hurt my feet? Well, Coach, you got to break in the shoes because that's how shoes work. Did I ask for your excuses? I asked for new shoes. Now I got shoes that hurt my feet, and I'm going to get angry, and I'm going to put my foot in somebody's ass. Like, he said it just like that. To your point about I can't work for Nick Saban.
I could never.
I can't work for Nick Saban.
I want to go out there and say, like, you hate success. I'm like, man, I will just slip in the times where he doesn't win. That's all.
Still an all-timer. Can you guys write some bad things about my players? No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Can you write some bad things about my players? Because they're listening to you. They're not listening to me. They think that everything they do is just golden and brilliant, and I need y'all to quit it. Okay? I need y'all to stop it. I need you to write some bad things about my players. Can you do that for me? I don't ask for much. Can you do that for me? That's Nick Saban. man, just surly for no reason a lot of the time. And yet is able to hit all the right notes when it's time to hit all the right notes. Rare misstep, talking that noise to Maria Taylor, who's been getting it from all directions here the last couple of years. Like, that's my bad. So quit asking. All right, dog, calm down. But that's the thing, man. Like, I'm looking at the history of college football and how stupid it is and who the people are that are in charge and what would I trust them to do other than college football. And I keep coming back to, preacher, used car salesman, right? Outside of that, like, can you imagine Nick Saban as a maitre d'?
No, I can't imagine. I can't imagine Nick Saban as anything besides the college football coach, because I can't think what positions are out there that you can lord your power over people, and as you become more successful, you get to have more power.
President.
So yeah, I guess Nick Saban could be president. There you go. It's those are his two positions: head coach or president. Because he's not going to turn your local McDonald's into a powerhouse.
CEO of a horizontal drilling company. It's not fracking, it's fracking. It's just French. Grow it into, I don't know, a larger business than anything except Exxon, and then, get indicted on antitrust charges.
Okay, 3 things: president, football coach, head of Halliburton.
I mean, Harold Ham got out there in Lexington, Kentucky, started with a well, now he's here. As they say, the dream. Go start a couple of, go dig a couple wells in Garvin County, and then turn that into what we know of as one of the largest energy companies in the entire world, or what was one of the largest energy companies in the entire world. I think that's a lot like being a college football coach, because you're building a dynasty that is inevitably going to crumble because it's oil, because it's gas, because that's what it is. It lives to hit a peak and then come down. Except I keep looking at Saban going, where's the down? Where's the down? And every time I think it's coming, like I thought this year it'd be the year it comes, right? Turnover, hadn't had a lot of dudes on campus, didn't look like he was going to be able to recruit well, and then all that stuff is just. And yet, I thought the same thing of Oklahoma coming into this season. I'm like, you know what? There aren't any losses on the schedule. There's only like a couple that you're kind of worried about, but there aren't any losses. It's not true anymore. And yes, Saban stays Saban. And you get back to this OU Texas thing. All right, so Tom Herman is in year 4. If Tom Herman loses to Oklahoma and runs the rest of the table out, how are we going to be talking about Tom Herman in January?
If he does that, then we can start to say that, oh man, Texas is back. Even though we know that coming back from wherever Texas has been is a multi-year struggle. Yeah. So what? They're a 2-loss team, right?
They're a 1-loss team. Oklahoma's a 2-loss team.
Excuse me. So yeah, so they have 1 loss against
Texas Christian.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that you would have to give them the props for the season they went out.
Okay, so
I don't know how much it would mean for the future.
So we make jokes about the Texas back thing without accurately drawing out what Texas being back would look like. And contrary to Sam Ellinger's point of view, winning the Sugar Bowl and going 10-4 is not back, because back for Texas and what Texas expects is winning a national championship. It's kind of like Miami. If Miami beats Clemson this weekend, am I going to say that Clemson or Miami is back? No. Mm-mm. Because the Miami that I grew up with buried Clemson. Buried Clemson all the way to the national championship game. That's just what it was going to be. Now, we don't talk about Clemsoning anymore. We just don't do it. They retired the term by becoming some measure of Megazord. You know? I don't really think Texas folks understand what it would mean to be back, because they would not be able to do anything else other than get drunk on power. Because that's also the thing about Texas. You're going to get everybody you're supposed to get. Can you evaluate who you're getting? And now you got Urban Meyer going on a big noon Saturday talking about, yep, Texas has just missed on evaluation. They're getting guys, they're just getting the wrong guys.
What, we've been saying that for like 10 years running.
Yeah, but apparently if Urban Meyer says it, then it has some validity. If you and I say it, apparently we're not paying attention.
I don't know where your level of tinfoil hatness is if you say, wow, Texas has just not been getting the type of players that you would expect a Texas that is back to have. While also looking at all the schools in Texas that have just been throwing players into the NFL with reckless abandon. And have that be like, nah, that's just, you're just saying that's just a conspiracy. You just wait and see. They got the players, right? They got them.
So the Baltimore Ravens draft like they sit in my living room on Saturdays, because J.K. Dobbins went to Ohio State. He's there. Malik Harrison went to Ohio State. He's there. Devin Duvernay went to Texas. He's there. James Prochet, one of those dudes you just mentioned that you just kind of throw into the blender, comes out as an NFL prospect. He went to SMU. Yeah, he's there. And I keep looking around at some of these other schools. Texas Christian has first rounders just coming out of their ears somehow. And they go 5-7, and they still manage with a first-round draft pick. You know, LJ Collier a couple years ago, coming out of nowhere. He's first-round draft pick. At one point, I'm looking at Texas Christian going, yo, man, what would Gary Patterson actually be like if he had the resources of a Texas? Then I remember he would be Gary Patterson. Which is to say, they wouldn't sign the 4- and 5-star guys because he doesn't recruit those dudes. He recruits dudes that need a meal plan. And then he puts them on the meal plan and threatens to send them back to Pittsburgh, Kansas as a term of motivation. But, you know, my man is from Roselle. So maybe
he's college football trafficking.
Golly, though. You know, I didn't know if dude was being ironic or not, because I heard commentator be like, you know, I like Texas Christian, I like Kansas State. And I said, do you realize that Gary Patterson was raised by that man? Everything you know of Kansas State football, Gary Patterson was raised by that man in football. Like, of course. Matter of fact, a couple years ago, when Alex Delton was transferring his grad transfer from Kansas State, Bill Snyder said, I think you should go to TCU. I think that's going to be good for you. I look at Gary Patterson and I say, man, you were one hell of a defensive coordinator, but I don't know about head coach. Because you got Doug Meacham out there trying to get Max Duggan killed on every play. And got these real stupid third down calls. But Gary Patterson also doesn't care to have an offense. He only cares to have a defense and the offense stay out of its way. Okay. One more thing that I put in the headline that I got to get to. Alabama and Florida look like they're on a collision course, which is my way of saying I think Florida beats Tennessee and Georgia. The reason I think Florida beats Tennessee and Georgia is because they can score points. Tennessee is not built to go score points. Tennessee is built to maul people. They ran a 7 offensive line jumbo set on Saturday. They go 4 and 5 stars across. They got 2 tailbacks that could carry the mail at Alabama if they wanted to. They got a quarterback that nobody trusts. Georgia is defensive football. Stetson Bennett is just there to make sure that you give the defense time to rest up to go be the defense once again. Florida and Florida Kyle are destroying people. Have you been paying attention to what Kyle Pitts has done the last couple of weeks?
No.
So Kyle Pitts got something like 10 TDs and has gone from being, we think, tight end number 1 to absolutely tight end number 1. But he's a wide receiver, right? Like, I'm under the impression that Megatron's a tight end. They just had him play wide out, right? Because with that body, 6'5", 245. If I told you that I had 6'5", 245 and ran 4.3, yes, you're going to put him in flanker. You're not going to call him a tight end. But that's essentially what Kyle Pitts is. And Florida Kyle has been combining for some outstanding stuff. And now they've gotten better. They add a 5-star transfer in DeMarcus Bowman for next season. So they're going to be 6 deep at tailback. And you know what Florida fans are saying? Can we get some defensive 5-stars just like everybody else? That made me feel good to find out that Florida lives that Oklahoma life of, yo, enough with the offensive blue chips. Let's get the defensive blue chips. And then you got to remember, you got Todd Grantham, whose play call is blitz. That's his play call. That's the one he knows. That's the one he trusts. No. Just send the house. This quarterback is actually pretty good against the blitz. That's what I run. So what's your philosophy here? Get the ball back to the offense as quickly as possible. So we can accomplish that one of two ways. We can take it away, or we can let them score. Either way, Dan Mullens, here's the ball. More possessions, more drives. Isn't that what you want? Because, like, Florida kind of resembles Nelly ball in that way. It does. It does. No. We want to get shots off as quickly as possible so we can get more shots off.
That's a fair assessment of Nelly ball. That's that style right there. Like, oh, it only works when it works. And are you saying that they're doing that, or that's just what it looks like?
That's what it looks like. What Dan Mullen actually wants to do is run basketball on grass. He ain't got a quarterback that can run. He got a quarterback that can pass, and he's adapting. Right? They make those excuses for Kyle Trask, like they make those excuses for Joe Flacco. You know, he's got good mobility in the pocket. I mean, what do you mean he has good mobility in the pocket? Do you mean that he's not tripping over his own feet? Because
he regularly does like agility drills. He's a healthy young man. I've seen him run a 40. Like, all right, cool. I guess that's the bare minimum for being able to.
And then Kyle Trask has
technically mobile.
Has Emory Jones behind him, who is much shorter and much faster, right? So they're gonna go back to running, power spread here in just a little bit. But right now they got to throw the ball around because that's what he's got, right? So that's why it looks like Nelly ball. Because I don't think that there are any. I don't think there are any short route combinations to both sides of the field in that playbook. I think at least one, possibly two routes in every one of those formations is built to go the distance. You got to go or you got to post in every one of those route combinations. We don't have all corners in the playbook. What for? We don't have all drags in the playbook. What for? We don't have levels concepts in the playbook. What for? I thought we were trying to score the basketball, score the football. I thought that's what we were trying to do. So that's what it looks like, because Kyle Pitts is also, they're running man against him and they're not bracketing him. So that man is just quite literally shaking people at the line of scrimmage and then just putting his hand up. It's a nice thing to be if you're his quarterback, because it's like, oh, cool. Just go catch that, Kyle, to the house. Will you just run that back? Whatever that play was, let's run that back. Let's run that back. Meanwhile, Alabama continues to be Alabama. So as it stands today, Alabama, Clemson getting in, we know that. The Big 12 is not. The Big 12 is a Sun Belt property. Does an undefeated SMU or an undefeated Cincinnati get that fourth spot vacated by the Big 12? Or do you just put in, the SEC runner-up?
Me, because I'm on this pro chaos ticket, I'm absolutely putting SMU over an undefeated SMU over a one-loss Texas. I don't know about Cincinnati.
Why? Like, Cincinnati plays Ron Taylor football.
I think SMU plays Ron Taylor football.
I disagree.
This is me just being really salty over Texas. Even if they run the table, it's because the Big 12, as you said, is a Sun Belt property right now. It's Sun Belt South. So any wins that you get over everybody else, like the who's left on the schedule that's worth anything? Oklahoma State. That's it.
After Texas? Or you talk about undefeated?
Because you're saying like, would I rather pick Cincinnati or SMU over Texas, right?
Right. No,
Okay.
I'm saying no. Cincinnati or SMU. Well, I guess I am because I'm skewing the Big 12 altogether, and you're telling me that Oklahoma State could absolutely be there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Oklahoma State could absolutely be there at the end. Could. I wouldn't have called it.
Okay, Desmond Howard. Okay, Reggie Bush. I love how two dudes that have scarcely stepped foot in this state or anywhere near it are like, yeah, Oklahoma State can make the college football playoff. Not only could, I put them in. I've already put them in. The dude from California, the dude that went to Michigan, they're going, yeah, Oklahoma State could definitely get that college football playoff spot. And now Oklahoma State fans feel all sorts of gassed up because they're 2-0. Against the softest start to the schedule anybody has. You started with West Virginia and Kansas.
As a man who's given a little bit of money to Oklahoma State, I just want to admit that conflict of interest. If you're Oklahoma State, what have you really been like? What have you been anticipating from your team year after year? Because it hasn't been a national championship.
All
so
right.
when you have this opportunity, yeah, I'm gonna give it my whole heart. And I don't think when was the last time that you ever said like, oh wow, it looks like Oklahoma State's going to win the Big 12, absolutely taking a playoff shot, position.
2011.
Okay. 2011.
2011.
9 years ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the last time. So for a year like this, somebody has so once again, pro chaos ticket, right? Even if I want all of my old money squads to go 500 and really show off their strength against each other, somebody has to capitalize. It looks like Oklahoma State's going to do it. What's that say about your conference?
Ugh. I know this. I can't stand the idea of OAN winning the Big 12 championship. Can't stand it. Can't stand it.
Hey man, even when they're wrong, they're right.
Golly. Like they will send down the news crew. They will be the only news crew on the sideline. Because Gundy will will it so.
I would like to see it.
Okay. Before we get out of here, I did want to alert the viewers that I am writing a book about the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. I'm very excited to write this book. I've been preparing to write this book basically since high school. And I'm already well into the writing and reporting process, and I can't wait to put it in front of you probably in a couple of years. But I'm probably going to also talk about it from time to time or talk about what I'm learning from time to time. Because, as you very well know, I do not shy away from talking about race on this here show. And lots of people have come out and told me that, I'm unsubscribing. I'm going, okay, fine. Bye. Because that's what it's going to be. I am a very black man. And I'm writing about black issues. I also happen to be a tremendous college football fan. So you can see how I'm kind of locked in a contradiction. But we're going to make it work. Because I got some stuff coming later today about the University of Texas. And yeah, it's not all glorious. Matter of fact, I had a dude reach out yesterday like, RJ, can I get that Eyes of Texas video that you made the other day? Yeah. By the other day, he means June.
You put out one of these every single day. It takes a while to catch up.
Yeah, man. That's the thing I told him. It's like, cool. The important ones get lost. Because the only things that people are really interested in are me losing my mind or me talking about their team, which is cool, right? It's all things to all people. It's Walmart over here, except Oregon State. You're not gonna find a whole lot of Oregon State content over here. Just not gonna. I had a dude also get in here and be like, "Yo, man, for a dude that graduated from a Group of 5 school, you seem to hate Group of 5 schools. Show me the Group of 5 fan base, dog." Like, I had a dude pop in here to say, I'm a Michigan State fan. So happy to see you talk about Mel Tucker getting hired. And I was like, cool. You're the one. Or somebody was coming in here talking about put some respect on Coastal Carolina's name. For what? Yo, man, Bixby can beat Kansas. It's just what it's going to be. Like Bixby tried to schedule Kansas. Kansas ducked them.
I was going to say, if they really want you to do it, like they're daring you to become a Northwestern, Vanderbilt, Wake Forest, Arizona State style college football team, TV show or internet show. He'll do it.
They want the show to die, is what they want.
Give you all the TCU news you can stomach.
I was about to say, welcome to the San Diego State YouTube channel, where, golly, we only talk about Marshall Faulk. That's all we do. We only talk about Rashad Penny. Hey, if you want to win your college football fantasy football league, draft the San Diego State tailback.
Welcome to Swangin' and Bangin'. I'm RJ Young. All we will be talking about this year is SMU and Houston. Thank you.
Welcome to all Southland all the time. Golly. Stephen F. Austin. That's what we're doing here. We're doing Stephen F. Austin takes. Welcome to the Summit League YouTube channel. I think I can only name like 2 teams in the Summit League.
Oh,
yeah, I know, right?
Gun to my head, I'm dead.
One of them's Oral Roberts. Like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Denver. There's
Oakland.
2. Oakland.
Oakland.
There's 3. See what I'm saying? Right? Yeah.
Got a kangaroo in there? IUPUIs, are they in there?
Oh man. EUPU. No, that's what IUPUI is. EUPU. Indiana.
I'm not looking at it. You could be lying to me. I'd have to believe you.
Meanwhile, hey, welcome to the Rutgers YouTube channel where all we talk about is Paul Robeson. Yo, man, can I get a Shiano take? No, you can get this Robeson take, though.
Hey, guys, thanks for making me diamond. I really appreciate this. I'm going to put this plaque up. This is thanks to you, the fans, for my Rutgers show.
That'd be so dope. That'd be so dope. I can't imagine getting to 10 million subscribers just talking about Rutgers. God damn. Like, how does that even work? Is it just a bunch of sympathy plugs? Is that what it is? What if you had 10 million subscribers and nobody was watching the videos? Like, somebody would take down your channel, right? Like, they would be like, this is fake.
Oh, at that point, this is just professional development, because then you're just putting that on the resume whenever you apply to ESPN. That's right. I have 10 million subscribers. Might as well start a TikTok, man.
So what's your channel about? You know, are you the Bash Bros, like the bat flip dudes? Are you like Dude Perfect? No. None of that. We talk about Sonny. Yeah, State University, New York. Huh?
Yeah, break down a lot of film.
Yes, we cover New York Metropolitan football. Fordham, stand up. Long Island, you stand up. LIU, here for you. Golly, I'm here for that. Meanwhile, the SWAC channel got 229 subscribers. MEAC channel got 329 subscribers. Hey, did you know that South Carolina State was undefeated? Sorry, who? Did he say South Carolina State? Is that a school?
I recognize those first 2 words.
Or, Bethune-Cookman. Where's the Bethune-Cookman channel?
So I guess
football channel. I may add.
So we say all this to say is that we only do this for money. None of us like any of the teams that we cover. He's only a football an OU fan because you guys subscribe. That's the long and short of it.
I'm actually here trying to covertly make Tennessee State stuff. This is all a big ploy.
Oh, this is the door pilot to to the Richmond Spider Show.
Man, backdoor to Lindenwood, stand up. One of the fastest college track teams in America. I just really wanted to get this this Carlisle Indian School stuff off my chest. You know who was great? Pop Warner.
Shout outs to Bacon.
Man! All right. Booker T 2003. Robert Meacham ends up going to Tennessee. Felix Jones ends up going to Arkansas. Adrian Badley goes to UNLV. Starting corner, 6'2", 210 pounds. Where's he end up? Bacone. You know, everybody else went to NEO, by the way, because everybody goes to NEO. That's what happens. Now I'm going to go to NEO, and I'm going to bounce out and end up at Oregon. I mean, it happens, but just not to you. Nah, man. Chase that dream, though. Chase it. You end up at Kansas Wesleyan. There's a backdoor channel. Here for Bethany. Bethany University football. Sometimes McPherson. Why are you making a face?
Oh, just how my face looks. Just how my face looks.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to support the RJ Young Show by buying stuff in Manscaped. I bought stuff from Manscaped. I got the new nose hair trimmer in the mail just the other day. I used it on the nose because, like, it doesn't look like a party favor when I sneeze anymore. That's nice. And I also have the nose hairs that break off and, like, get stuck in the back of my throat, so I'm choking. I'm very excited about that. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. I also have the Lawnmower 3.0. It's really, really cool for your nethers. Their engineering team spent 18 months perfecting this thing into the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Again, I tried it. I like it. It's got a ceramic blade, advanced skin-safe technology, lasts up to 90 minutes. It's got an LED in case you want to use it in the shower, and you can use it in the shower. That's a perk. If you go to manscaped.com and you buy anything, use the promo code RJSHOW and save 20% off and get free shipping. That's RJSHOW at manscaped.com. Again, RJSHOW at manscaped.com to get 20% off with free shipping. We will see y'all on Wednesday. Oh, nope. Can't go yet because I just remembered. Ron, do you know what I just remembered?
Was it that KJ Costello had 43 completions and crawl over 300 yards? No, what you got? I just want to have to get that out there.
Golly. I got to the 5-star reviews left on the podcast. Yeah, man. All right, so let's start with Real Skinny Black Guy. He said that, not me. Just throwing that out there for those who don't know. I've been watching RJ since OU lost to Georgia. I remember looking for answers on how we lost and found him and concluded with his answer. Mike Stoops. I think he concurred with my answer, but I get you. Appreciate that. Ever since, I've supported RJ as much as I can, and on Twitter and YouTube and now the podcast. I'm happy to support, and whenever I get a job, I'm going to become a member. And when you get a national TV show, I'm going to tell everyone, I've been watching him since I was 14. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, dude. Artie King says, despite that, you're still breaking down college football. Talking about no Missouri State. F.H. Sharp. I follow this dude on Twitter, too. RJ's show is like if the smartest, coolest professor you had in college decided that he was going to follow his passion and start teaching a class on college football. Wow, that's pretty close to home.
Okay, smart brother over here.
Right? This brother is one of the smartest people speaking into a microphone out there. Love when he put on his historian hat and gives us nuggets from way back about the game. You got a fan for life, sir. I will continue to track your meteoric rise. All right, that's it for me. Deuces. I appreciate that, homie. And last year, we got Music Boy 14. Love the podcast and the detail that is put into the show each week, from recruiting, game updates, coaching, and now COVID updates. RG is one of the best to do it. No matter your team, you will love this channel. Hopefully, Oklahoma and LSU can pick it up next week. Go Tigers. Talk about 5-5 in question marks. I mean, they 1-1. They were right on track. And if you leave a 5-star review and you want to leave a kind review or you want to leave a question, as you see, I will remember to read it on this here live show. We do it on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate y'all for coming through. We will see you a couple of days. Deuces.